Us. It is a ladies talk show. We've got two beautiful ladies with us today, and I'd love to get started on this show. So I'm Susie from Volcano.
And I'm Gail from Sutter Creek.
And I'm Martha from my own in Jackson, and I don't know about beautiful, honey.
No, you're beautiful. Let's pick two topics, and we'll get started on the show.
Here, go ahead.
This one.
Okay, read it, and this one too.
All right. Okay, the first one is, because we live in a more casual society setting, do manners really count?
Okay.
Number,
Topic 4.
oh, so you read the topic,
What,
so.
what number
what's-
question?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's question 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so what was the topic?
Topic is manners.
Manners, okay.
Okey doke.
And then the next one,
Okay, all right.
And then
Okay,
I
the next one
read
is
the topic.
political figures.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
let's be correctly.
4.
Number
Okay, it
4
says,
this
because
time.
politicians make decisions and pass laws that shape our daily lives, should we be more aware of whom we choose to represent us?
I got something to say about that.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short break. Please stay with us because we're going to be right back.
You're watching Amador County. You're watching your local television network, TSPN, and now back to Love, Hope, and Faith.
And Gail, what is our first topic, my dear?
Okay, this is about manners, and it's because we live in a more casual society setting, do manners really count?
You know, I noticed that it's rare. It's a rare thing anymore to have manners. I think hardly anybody has any manners anymore. You know, I find it especially when people are driving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those
Yeah, they get a little rambunctious there, some people,
yeah,
the road rage,
you
as
know,
they call it.
Like, I catch myself, I didn't know that I knew sign language.
Well, I will encourage you to do this. Don't do it because you never know who has a gun. You
Oh,
never know if they're the
absolutely.
type of person that will, run you off the side of the road or whatever. And, I thought for a while there that road rage was kind of gone because we don't talk about it anymore. You don't read, you don't hear too much about road rage. But from what I gather, people have said, no, it's still out there.
Oh, yes, it's still.
So I think that having manners when you drive, I think, is very, very important.
Right. And I think those new little cameras that they put inside the cars help a lot because it's just amazing what they're finding out.
Can you
with those.
imagine if everybody had one of those cameras?
Everybody probably will one day. It probably will become standard equipment on automobiles someday.
Oh, yes.
Simply because
I
of
really believe that.
insurance companies are going to want it. They're going
Right.
to want to know the real facts
The
when that there's an
real
accident.
facts,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
I'm surprised that they don't have them right now. You know,
Well, didn't they say they wanted to take the cams off the police helmets or something that, I don't know if it was the ACLU or somebody was complaining that it's too much of an invasion of privacy, but
We have no idea. If you go into Sutter Creek, there's a camera at either end of Main Street.
Yeah, I
and you
think
can
it's
see
a great
people,
idea.
You know, I
There's
think it's a
one in
great idea if you
Jackson,
keep it
too.
outside.
look at the Boston bombing.
Right, they
Thank-
wouldn't have found those people without those
Absolutely,
cameras.
so thank the good Lord that they did have cameras on there.
I
don't-
always
it doesn't
believe
bother
that
me.
if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to worry
Right,
about.
Right. What if you were the victim and they caught the person on camera hurting you or whatever, and they could identify him? I mean, here you are.
Right.
So yeah, I think manners are important, and I've stated this before because we had this topic. I think it was last week or the week before we were talking about manners, and I find that some of the kindest and most polite kids, young kids, teenagers, are here in Amador County. I have never gone into a store where there wasn't a teenage kid that either opened the door for you
Yes.
or given you their card or, excuse me, ma'am, or can I help you, or whatever. And I mean, and I don't think I look that much like I need that much help all the time, but I have to say, I think that the kids in Amador County, their parents
They
are
are.
doing a great job because they're few and far between that don't have good manners.
I think some of the manners that have probably gone by the wayside are like formal thank you notes and things because it's so easy
I
to go on
know.
like Jackie Lawson's website
Right.
and send something off. At least
is
it lets
cute.
your person think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you've thought
which-
about them.
At first, I didn't like that. And then I got kind of used to it, and I thought, that's really a cute idea, like the invites and things.
Right.
And then I thought, you know what, this saves so much time and postage
And money,
and
yes.
money, in buying the invites and stuff. And I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
If you're close friends, you pick up the phone, hey, 6
Yes.
o'clock, be down here. Okay, I'll be there. But in years past, like even 25 years ago, it was like, well, I'm not going to go. I wanted a formal invitation. And I think that we've gotten away from that. But you and I were raised the same way with that the Latin, the
Yeah.
type of parents that insisted
I
on
lo-
us having.
This is the way that I learn. Is like, you don't say it like that.
Yeah.
You do this, and you just learn. I don't know. I'm not a very formal manner person, but I try not to be offensive. Try, to be kind to people
And
and
thoughtful.
just learn.
Please and thank
to-
you. That's all people have to say. And you find that a lot of that is not in people's vocabulary today. They
And
seem to forget.
I remember that when I was younger, none of the people that I knew, the women anyway, spoke bad language. What do you say? Like,
You come a long way,
Oh,
baby.
Like talking like a sailor.
like, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Or smoke.
Yeah.
They just
God.
didn't smoke.
Well,
Not
we've come a long way, baby.
oh boy, yes, we have, huh? But I mean, all of those things are,
My mother smoked and swore. But she was one of the most
cute.
kind and thoughtful women, but she always expected us to be polite, to respect our elders. And
certain people bring out that in you sometimes, because when I'm with my girlfriends, ooh, we're like sailors.
Well, you know what? I don't think anything is wrong with that. Men, they swear with guys, and women do their thing. But now we're getting to the point where you want equality. Okay, well then you're going to hear this. So I don't see anything wrong with it. I think a woman knows how to act like a woman when she needs to.
It depends on what you say. You can't be offensive when you say something. It's like
No, of course not.
in bad language. I mean, I use a couple of words, but
We all do.
No,
but-
really?
Ooh, my grandkids are listening.
We got to move on to our next
Okay,
topic.
the
and
next
I'm
one
going to say that
is-
without saying any bad words.
Political figures. Because politicians make decisions and pass laws that shape our daily lives, should we be more aware of whom we choose to represent us?
Not just who we choose, the ones that are there now. We have to keep our eyes on them, and we have to be, go to the Capitol and do at least one day a year, lobbying and talk to the person directly and find out directly what their opinions are about
Right.
what something that you're going through. Let's say me with the American Disability Act, frivolous lawsuits. Actually, I'm going to be having a meeting with Mr. Fred Bigelow on August 29 at my restaurant at 9:30. So if anybody is interested on coming over, I'll put it on my Facebook so
Is
that
this on
everybody
ADA?
knows. Yes.
Yes.
And we're
Has
going
been-
to talk about the frivolous lawsuits and what's happening, because I'm interested in amending the law for the last 11 years, but it takes many years
know.
to get
Right.
it done.
It's a tough law to deal with.
Well, in that law, the reason they want to change it is because there's no remedial period. So if you go in
Right.
and you sue someone under it, it's an automatic $4,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And
they
that
give
needs
you
to
no
change.
period to fix it.
Right.
I know. So
And I
wo-
think that's terrible.
I've been working with this group of attorneys that fight against frivolous lawsuits for the last 11
I'm
years.
familiar with them, yeah.
And it's a good thing.
Right.
Makes you feel good that you might be able to help the small business people in California.
Right. And still watch out for people who have disabilities too. I
Right.
mean,
Yes.
it's a balancing act.
There's nothing. I have family, like I tell everybody, I have family that are ADA, and I appreciate that law. I don't appreciate the people that use it for their
As a sword.
benefit.
You need a grace period to allow it to be fixed.
Yes.
Well, we tried to do that. We tried to amend the law where people would get 90 days,
Yeah.
but still, sometimes that's not even good enough. That's very hard for somebody to spend $200,000 in
Sure.
a building that doesn't belong to them, because if you only knew all of the laws, it would be horrible. Because when you have a business, the owner of the building, if you don't own the building, the owner of the building only is responsible for the outside. You are responsible
for the
for
inside.
everything inside. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, so that, it makes it hard, very hard. But yeah, we should keep our eyes on.
Do you
on
both
those
feel
people.
that a lot of people, unfortunately, that they vote their party instead of voting for the best person?
Oh,
gosh,
absolutely.
yes,
I mean, we
definitely.
all do it, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or an independent. I think
Right.
we have a tendency, because I'm big on let's finding out the truth. Did this really happen? So much is on the internet, and you don't really know what is accurate and what it's not.
Right.
And you can search and search, and you're going to find both sides of the same story. So,
I read the propositions like probably 20 times, because they are so confusing.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
the English that the language that they use, if you vote for this, and it sounds like it's something you want, you
Yes.
won't get it.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's always,
that's true.
You have to be like you, an attorney, to decipher.
understand.
To decipher what is being said. And I think what they need to do is they need to change the verbiage where they have to understand that there are people that.
They are not going to change the verbiage.
Oh,
trust
I
me.
understand. I
Trust me.
totally get it. But they need to make things more, they need to make it more, understandable for people, because your average person is not an attorney that reads these things that are going to affect us. And you want to know where your person stands regarding,
Right.
regarding these issues, because I am not opposed to, I will not vote my party, I will vote the person. And that's why I'm an independent type of person. I will not vote my party every time. I will vote for the person that is going to do the best job or has my point of view, and that is going to, if I make a
Support
mistake, then
your
next
point
time I
of
don't
view.
vote for him.
Right.
That's just the way it goes. We have to pick 2 new topics, my dear.
okay.
Okay.
I'll just move these out of your way.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Oop.
Then pick
You
another
want
one.
to do that?
Uh-huh.
Is that
You
a
do the
free-for-all?
hot topic?
No, we're going to do that as our first free-for-all.
Okay, well,
No, just
Give her another
so you need
topic.
another one.
yes.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Sorry about that.
This topic is the information highway. And did you want to?
Sure. Number one.
Okay. Do you feel you can communicate better on the information highway, or do you have to talk face-to-face with someone?
Uh-oh.
That's a question that's great for
Yes.
us, sitting here
Yes.
talking face-to-face.
Okay. And then we're going to do the,
The hot topic?
that's our free-for-all, so we're going to surprise you with that. We're going to take a very short break. Thanks for being with us, and stay with us, because we're going to be right back.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. And Gail, our first topic. Before you do that, I want to say good morning to Donna. She was supposed to be here, but she had an appointment this morning, so we miss you, my love.
Yes,
Hurry
we
back.
do.
We do.
I'll see you later. This one is on the information highway, and it's, do you feel you can communicate better on the information highway, or do you have to talk face-to-face to someone?
Don't you think that it's the issue or the topic that you have to speak to a person? There are certain things that you don't want to get on Facebook or email or whatever, that the closest thing is either the telephone or you meet them and talk to them. I think it depends on the situation.
I agree.
You think?
I have a lot of situations because I help people do Skype to Mexico through my computer.
Oh, how nice.
And it's interesting to see the joy of people when they see each other from so far away, and they go, is that really you? You know,
fun.
there are some people that still don't really understand technology.
Right.
You know, and I love to do that. You know, I make sure that the person in Mexico is going to be somewhere where we know that they have Skype, and you know, and then I put them together, and it's
I
like,
want to get that for my daughter when my granddaughter goes away to college.
It's superb. I did it when I traveled. Mick
Really?
and I would talk to each other every night on Skype. He talks to his family back in England and Ireland and Scotland.
exciting.
hey,
And you can
Adriana,
see the person. It's
Adriana
wonderful.
would
Did with
talk
Jesse?
to Jesse,
Yeah.
you know, all the way in Afghanistan. Sometimes they don't have the best,
Right.
Hookup, yeah.
you know, the best signal, but they still, you know,
How
could you
nice.
imagine?
Speaking of Adriana and Jesse, we were there the other night. We want to thank you for the beautiful party
Yes.
that you
Oh,
gave
we
them.
had a wonderful time.
We did.
Thank you for
And what a
showing
lovely,
up.
what a lovely
And-
young man
and
he
Stephanie
is.
Farrow took some
Yes, she
beautiful
did.
pictures.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so thrilled
Yes.
that I'm so happy
What a
that
lovely young
Jesse's
couple.
back. Yes.
And
Thank you.
speaking of Stephanie, Stephanie's the only person that I would let her have the corner of the cake because she's like I am. And I was going to give it to somebody who wanted it. And I thought, now before I get around that corner, that's going to be mine. And then Stephanie gave me that look and I said, oh, okay, just take it.
Are you a frosting
Virginia
person?
Manor.
Well, I have one
you know,
bite, then I get sicker to.
Virginia Manor helped me
Yes, she
so
did.
much.
And
She really
Adriana
did.
looked
Yes.
beautiful, and
They
they
did.
looked so happy.
Yes, thank
that-
you.
And thank
Yes,
God, you did a
yes.
beautiful job. You and Virginia both did.
Oh,
I
thank you.
commend you, because,
It's a lot of work.
It was. It
But
was.
I was looking forward to do it because I promised him that
and,
we
and I
he got
and I
back,
have
we
a
did it.
confession. I'm not a big drinker, and this one here, I had about 8 Martha Ritas.
Oh, my God.
And, oh yeah, I was tanked.
Yeah.
I'd be the first one to admit it. I was tanked.
You can't just drink one, huh?
Oh, no.
They were very,
And then
very
if you
good.
weren't pouring
Thank
it,
you.
Virginia was pouring it, and oh my gosh, I thought,
We had that blender going all
oh
day.
boy, no more for me. Next time I have to hold it to one. I'm not a drinker.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh,
Susie.
it was
Thank you.
magnificent.
Thank
You make one of the best margaritas.
Thank you.
It was great.
And
And
what,
it
what was the topic?
Oh, who cares? What the heck? We're going to go on to the next one. All right.
So, and what was
We
the
want to
next?
talk about women and the different freedoms, like taking on like jobs that we always thought like were for. You're younger than myself, so maybe
Not
this.
much.
Yeah, but and I
much.
know you're.
A lot older.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I doubt it very much. But
Diane.
we were all raised where it wasn't necessary, okay, for us to go on and pursue college or whatever. If you went to school or JC, whatever, you went to get your MRS degree, okay, MRS, Mrs. degree. Or you got a job until you got married, and then you stayed home and raised your children. Whereas today, I mean, did you ever dream you were going to be an attorney?
Never in my wildest dreams. I just kept going to school and going to school. And one of the things that I thought was very favorable to me was I had a father who never said, or a mother who had never said, you can't do it because you're a woman. You can't do it because
See,
you're
I
a
think
girl.
that's great.
And I never got, a lot of the women that I've spoken to about this have gotten that stricture that says, you can't be a doctor, you know. You have to settle for being a nurse.
That's
And-
right.
And I think there are women way before me who blazed the trail, but for me it was just one of those things. I was smart. I wanted to go back to school. I didn't have an opportunity. When I graduated from high school, that was the thing. You got your MRS, you had your babies, and you raised them, and
And you better
What do
be
you do?
happy doing it.
right. I loved it. I mean,
And
I
in
really
between,
did.
you better have dinner on the table and the laundry done.
Yes. And the house better be straightened when your husband comes home from work.
There you go.
No
Have your
toys on the
pearls
floor.
on with the little Leave It
Yes,
to Beaver dress.
If
there,
you look
June
at some
Cleaver.
of those old ads that were in the magazines,
Oh,
I
they
don't know
make,
if
don't they
you've
make
seen
you
them.
want to sick?
I know.
They
You
just
know,
make
there
you
she
sick.
is fixing dinner in her pearls and high heels with her sweet little apron on, you know, and the children are all
Now,
sitting
wait, though.
neatly at the
Father
table.
knows best.
No, wait. She's got a costume that's pretty close to that for the kitchen, but it's not for what you think it is. I've seen her costume. Yeah.
It's one that doesn't have a back on it.
Yes.
What about your career, Susie?
What about I really love law enforcement. As you know, John was he was a detective and a policeman for 32 years, and that's how I met him. I was a reserve police officer, and after all these years, we got back together. But law was my first love. I really, really loved the law, and I realized as a single parent, even going to a different department that was not quite, the crime wasn't high crime. I just felt I didn't want to pursue it after a while.
What did you have to do to become who you became?
Today,
No, back
Before?
then, it's a police, was it a police woman or was it?
no, I was regular police like a police officer, but I
Uh-huh.
was a reserve. I wasn't a full-time.
So did you have to go through
Yes,
the
I had to go-
system?
Yeah, I had to take
The
classes.
academy? Did you have to go to the
Not
academy?
the academy as we know it today.
Oh,
I had to go what
okay.
was required by law to be able, you had to know about search and seizure, you had to do firearms. I had chemical agent training, so I was able to do that. And it was my love, but I realized as a single parent that I needed to take a different avenue for my children. And I did. And then when I got in banking, I think it was the last 10 years in banking, I was the director of security for a bank. And I handled embezzlements and did robbery training and did things like that. And I had some wonderful people that were managers that ran fantastic branches. And so I had it made in the shade doing that, and I really, really enjoyed that.
Did you ever feel as a woman that you were prevented from going further?
Yes,
Or,
yes, because the position that I held, there was only, at that time, there was only like maybe 2 women out of hundreds of men that, when we used to get together for the, like we have our conferences, the law stated that we had to go once a year for training ourselves, being the head of the bank, because, we had to deal with the Office of Thrift Supervision and
OTS?
lovely OTS, and a few other people that regulate banks. And banks are very closely regulated,
Very
despite
much.
what people think, and you have to really know what the heck's going on in your branches. And like I said, I was blessed. There were some magnificent branch managers out there that
Well, and like me,
knew what they were doing.
I was raised to be a mother. I was raised to be a wife. I was raised to be submissive to my husband. I mean, that's just what was embedded in me.
What happened?
Well, what the heck? Where did you go wrong, girl?
Ding dong
Look,
brought
but
me
you
to
see-
the United States. And then I learned the American way, and oh boy.
Did you
No,
ever think that you
you
were going
blossomed.
to? Did you ever think that you were going to be a restaurant owner? Yes, because
Yes,
that was
I did. That was my dream.
And you didn't stop.
That was my dream. That was my dream when we came across the border. I promised him I was going to work as hard as I could, and I was
Boy,
going to
did
do
you.
everything that I could to get where we wanted to be, And then my kids were starting to grow, and I decided, what am I going to do when my kids leave home? I want to have a career. And then somehow somebody put in my brain, you would make a great realtor. And not realizing that I never went to school in the United States, I didn't know how tough it was going to be to learn.
But you did it.
To pass that test.
But you did it.
Oh my God. It
And
was
I heard
just-
you were a very
and-
good realtor.
And thank you. And I still have customers that come, and
cute.
and tell me that they just love their home, or either I sold them a home, or I sold their homes, and I still have families.
And
that-
not only that, you have worked as an interpreter for the police department, the
I-
hospital.
for when I first came into town, I did my degree is in life, because I have translated for attorneys, for judges. I have for the hospital people, having babies or very traumatic accidents, or just so many things that I have done in my life. Help with so many organizations. So to me, this is like, I feel like I have a huge degree, and I feel
and that you have so
very
much
proud.
experience, and you've accomplished so much.
I'm grateful that I was able. to have that
Yeah.
energy to
Right.
want to do it.
Yeah.
You really have
Well,
to
I can
have
tell
it
you
within
this,
yourself.
I've met your family. You've raised some great kids
Yes.
and grandkids. And
Thank you.
like I said, Monday night, they were all there supporting you. Even Jose was there.
Yeah, my
Senior.
ex-husband, yes,
Ex-husband,
Yeah,
yes.
and very nice
And that's
man.
saying a lot,
You betcha.
because if everybody knew my story, they would go like,
Yeah.
she
No,
still
but you know
talks to
what?
him.
You know what? You did the right thing. Okay, our last two topics, ladies, are going to be what today?
Okay.
This one,
This one I don't think we've done. This is called decisions, and this
Okay.
one is,
number 6.
okay, can you help others make decisions easier than making them for yourself?
Oh,
Wow.
okay, and the next one?
And
Oh, I guess it's this one
All
right here,
right.
sorry.
and this is interesting. It's
Oh, that's a free-for-all,
We're
huh?
free for all. We'll talk about that
Okay.
when we come back. Short break. Come on back.
okay.
What did we do, Miss?
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Thank you, Sarah. Welcome back. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Gail from Sutter Creek.
And I'm Martha from Ireland.
Okay,
And
ladies. And Jackson. My
So-
dear, you're on. What is our next
Okay,
topic?
the next topic is decisions, and it's can you help others make decisions easier than making them for yourself?
Oh,
I think so. I think a
Yes.
lot of times we don't want people to help us make a decision.
I'm the
We know-
boss.
Yeah, there you go. And it's not, don't do as I say. It's one of those
Well,
situations.
you
and
know, for me, is I have to show them to do it right. What I think is right, okay?
Okay,
So,
Mama.
yes, it's like, this is the way the other day my daughter Rachel goes, Mom, I can't clean this. I said, let me show you, honey. Take a little Clorox. It was the iced tea that spilled, and it makes it really, really dark in my counters.
Yeah.
I said, let me show you. Put your gloves on and spread a little bit of Clorox, and you just wipe it out. She goes, oh, how did you do that, Mom? I said, experience, honey, experience.
There you go.
Abraham Lincoln said that an attorney who represents himself as a fool for a client, and I find that's really true.
You bet.
When you're personally involved in that situation, it's much more difficult to make a decision because I can be impartial when I'm dealing
Correct.
with somebody else.
Correct.
But when I'm personally involved, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
I can call up and fight somebody else's battles,
Right.
but when I'm fighting my own battles, I sometimes lose that objectivity.
It's easier to stand on the outside and look in
Yes.
and say, this is what I would advise you to do. But then when you think about it, if it was you, would you handle it that way?
Yes.
See, so I think that, I think it is much, much easier. But do you both reach out and ask other people, look, I've got this dilemma, what am I going to do?
It's very hard for me.
It's very hard for me,
Uh,
too.
I don't know why. I have a problem right now that I just don't dare talk to anybody about it. To me, this is like, I'm smart enough. I should be able to figure it out. Oh, and then I have myself, I think, am I?
Is that the right thing to
Is that
do?
the right thing to do? So there's only very few people that I will reach out and ask,
But you usually make the right decision. You know what's right for
I
you.
have made a couple of them in my life.
Oh, well, haven't we all, for gosh sakes? I've made a couple of them myself, but
yeah.
you know, but do you fight with yourself like you say, my heart tells me to do this, but my mind tells me to do that? And, you're
Yes.
torn. You're
Oh,
torn.
yeah, especially when it has to do with a man.
Yeah, something personal. Yeah, it does.
Men really play with your brain and make you doubt yourself,
Yeah.
So that's the only, where I have ever had any problems, it's with that, when that person is wrong for you, but, your ego or
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't
there's
know what
something
it
exciting
is,
about the wrong
yes,
man, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the
it
bad
is.
boy syndrome or
Yes,
whatever.
it is.
I always say, even if you make the wrong decision, like if it's a personal one, like you say, if it's in a relationship with a man,
But I'm good at giving advice.
there you go. I think that no matter what decision what you make, even if you say, I know I shouldn't, but I want to, do it. Because you can always say, at least you did it, and now you know that you made the right decision or the wrong decision.
Don't
So-
steer me the wrong way.
I'm not going to steer you the wrong way. I know you're a big girl, but I think that everybody has the right to be happy or try to pursue their happiness. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You know. And you think, okay, but I gave it a try. And, there is the sadness, there is the tears, but would you rather not experience that than to always have that doubt in the back of your mind? Was this right? Was this wrong?
You know, I'm the toughest woman in the world, I swear to you, because I will stand on my word. I really, really would. And if I see somebody that is doing wrong, and they ask my opinion, I will tell you, this is the way it is. If you still want to do it, honey, it's on you. But, my experience of me going through things like what you're going through right now, I'm going to tell you, you do whatever your heart tells you, but knowing...
Isn't experience the best research?
Oh, God.
Because you've got it all behind
that
you.
is so hard to explain that to a younger person.
It is.
Oh,
And
it
that's
really
sometimes you got to
is.
let them fall. And you be there to pick them up, but you think, no, you know what? They have to experience this, because if they don't, when they get older, it's going to be too hard for them, and it'll be more difficult for them to take that leap, or to experience that. Let them
I tell my grandkids,
shed tears.
all of my grandkids, I tell them, I said, you probably are listening with one ear and it's going out the other ear, but when you turn older,
You're going to see.
you're going to listen to my words, and you're going to say, that's what my grandma used to say
Did
that.
you do that with your
Yes,
grandfather?
yes, I
My
did.
grandfather
Yes,
used to
I
say.
did that with my grandpa.
And
Yeah.
I bet you all the advice that he gave you
Made me
was
who I
because
am
it made not
today.
only be who you are, but because he experienced the same thing.
Oh, I'm
And see,
sure he
that's where it is. Okay, we're going to go on to our next free-for-all, and it is about, Austin was telling us that there is now a device that you can trace and listen.
An app.
An application.
An application, okay. An app where you can trace and listen on someone's telephone?
Yes, it's for
Elsa?
tracking.
It's for tracking your
boyfriends or
telephone.
girlfriends to
Okay.
or a husband.
Okay,
Oh my
now-
God. I didn't know, because I have never been a jealous person, okay? Not really, not, like what I have seen. in
Obsessed.
Other obsessed
There you
people. I didn't know how many people there is with that obsession of another person, and they are wanting to take over your life. Ooh, get away from me. It's like, no.
But do you think that with this electronic thing, do you think that we've gone too far?
We
I mean,
have
for me,
gone
I don't
too
even look at my husband's
far.
wallet. I don't even get on his
But
computer.
not everybody's like that, Susie.
No, I can't do that. To me,
Not
that's an
everybody
invasion of
does that.
privacy.
Jealousy is a
No,
very
it's a sickness.
destroying thing.
It's a
Yes.
very
I look at it this way:
sickness.
if someone wants to, be Facebook friends or email people from their past,
I know somebody that stole somehow the passwords of their,
Spouse?
emails,
Spouse, yeah.
or their this or their that, and then they have told me, and it's like,
they monitor their boyfriend or spouse.
yes!
I don't want anybody around who I have to watch or
No.
who has to watch me.
No.
To me, that's not what a personal relationship is about.
I would never
But
do
they
that.
don't see it that way. They don't
know why?
see
I
it
guess
that
they're
they
too
just
insecure.
they just want to prove
Or
that other
controlling.
person wrong.
Controlling
Controlling.
and insecure.
Yes. Oh,
And-
how awful. Oh, I never been in a relationship like that. Never.
Well,
Don't ever
I
want
mean,
to.
as far as going too far with whether it's a personal relationship or whether it's the government, we have cameras all over the place. Everybody carries a cell phone now that takes
Right.
pictures.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. There's a coffee store that is gonna let people walk in the store with their guns, when you have a permit to have your gun. And, people are fighting it where I think, most people that carry a gun are responsible people. When you have a permit to carry a
Yeah,
concealed
if
weapon.
if you go through the
you know,
proper channels and take the training,
Correct.
yes.
But I mean, if you don't have a permit for your concealed weapon, then we're talking about a different story.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just saw this. This is what I wanted to talk about. I remember, I told you I was going to remember, and it just came through. That's true. You know, it's like the cameras and everything, and it's running into our rights, whether we should or shouldn't. You know, some women are saying, you know, I don't want to walk in a store where I'm going to have my children with me, and all these people have guns. I in my opinion, I would say I feel more safe with
Well, look at, what is it? Is it?
somebody that
Is it Wyoming, Colorado, one of them, where everybody has a gun. Everybody has a gun. You go in every store, and they got the gun on the counter. A lot of
You
people
know,
wear them.
the guns are not the ones that kill. It's the people that kill. The people that are sick. So
Unfortunately, Martha, there are people out there that will always disagree with you, and my feeling is that the majority of these people that are killing each other, that gun is not registered. They've gotten that gun by
well, you know better. You
illegal
were in
means
the-
and
yeah.
whatever. Bad people will always get guns, okay? They will always get a gun. And there are other means. People use other things as a deadly weapon. So I don't feel that is even an issue any longer. If you don't want a gun in your house, don't have a gun in your house. If you don't want to get a concealed carry permit, then don't go through the training and don't go through the channels to get a concealed carry permit. But don't take that right away from other people. It's the same thing. We have the same blasted argument with everybody with this, I don't want the 10 Commandments on the Capitol steps or whatever. It's a handful of people. The rest of us have no problem. Get over it. And that's the problem
Oh yeah,
that I
remember
have.
that guy that wanted
One
to
person
take the "In God We Trust"?
off the money in
I
Sacramento.
wanted to take that guy
And my
myself.
That was ignorant. And
I
you know
wanted
what?
to take that guy myself.
And what
trust
was
me.
our response? Use a check or use your credit card, because it doesn't mention God on your check or on your credit card. And, you know, the problem with our government is that we have caved in and caved in and caved in. There are people out there that are atheists. I don't care if you don't believe, but you're not going to take it away from me that I do believe.
I think that's true, but I think what the argument that some people make is that constitutionally, when this country was founded, it was intended to separate church
Church and state, absolutely.
And that's the argument, is let's separate church and state. It's fine to have religion here, it's fine to have the state here.
Right.
And the two are
But-
incompatible.
But the White House, when it was built, you've got things on there that are religiously symbolic, because we were founded on Christian Judeo principles. People don't.
all of our money.
Well, I think there's some
mentions-
coins now that they want to put it on just the rim where people don't see it because they don't want to offend.
Oh.
That's untrue. I've Googled that before, because somebody
That's
sent me
not
an
true.
email. I research all this stuff, because
Yeah, good.
it's very important for me to find
But
out.
anyway, you know,
what the
about the
facts are.
cameras, or I mean about the phones, yeah, it has gone way, way.
Yeah, I mean, come on, when you can't trust somebody and you have to do that,
Well,
you got a problem.
I was Googling something about that in the future. Oh, what they have coming
Oh,
on
well,
the
it's
future,
gonna be
where
unbelievable.
if you're watching TV, they can still watch you, you know, in what
Yeah.
you're doing in your home. I mean, they already can do it through, like, you know.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years. I'm sorry, but we have to take a very short break. We're going to come back and hit you up with our hot topic.
Man, that was a
Go
good
ahead, Gail.
topic.
No, I was going to
Just
talk.
Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage us.
Welcome back, and we're ready to discuss our hot topic. Ladies, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Hotter
Okay.
than what we had already?
You betcha. Okay, now we all know that Manning was convicted.
Yes.
Okay.
30
And he'll
years.
probably be out in about 8 years, 11 years, whatever.
And let's
Even-
clarify,
Not
that's
in
not the
federal court.
And
Federal,
let's
maybe.
clarify that that's not the football player, right?
No, it's not the foot. This is not Eli or his brother there. I almost said Archie. That's his father. I used to watch him play all the time. But Peyton. But now, and I didn't know this, but now Manning, he wants to be known as Chelsea Manning, and he
wants to be
he wants to become
a woman.
yeah, he wants to have a sex change, which is fine. However, being incarcerated in the system here, does that mean that the federal government has to pay the $20,000 to $30,000 and then maintain his sex change?
Some things they do, because I know here in our local prison, they stand in line and they wait for the $6,000 shot. It's like,
Really?
yes.
No, I don't know. There's something that just.
It's, well,
It's
okay, my
wrong,
question is
but
this.
there's a lot of things that are wrong, but prisoners have a lot of rights, believe it or not.
No, and rightfully, they have the right for due process, but what the question I'm asking is this, is that if he was sworn in as a soldier, as a man, and he's gone through this trial as a man, should he not do his term in prison as a man? Or did he do this to sell the information to enable him to have a sex change, thinking he wasn't going to get caught?
I don't know, but why we ever got into the position where we would pay for a sex change for a prisoner, I don't know. There are other things prisoners that aren't getting met.
Well, if you watch
I
Lockup.
don't think they're not going to pay for it. I don't think
I
they're going
do.
to pay for it.
I do. I
Yeah.
do feel they will, because if you watch, there's a show called Lockup, and I was watching it, and there was he had a sex change while he was in prison.
Yeah, now, there's a difference between state and federal prisons.
Right,
So
right.
If it's a state prison, that state would have to pay for
This
it.
was
If it's
state.
federal, the feds would have to pay for it. So
I think this is federal, right?
it
Yes.
should be
Yes.
federal.
It should
He's
be
selling
federal because-
national
because-
secrets.
Yeah, national secrets and stuff, because he was brought up on charges of espionage was a
Yes.
part of it. But I know that there's people out there that think that this man is a hero for what he did, and that, that he has a right for us to pay for his sex change. And I say, no, it's not a right to have a sex change. It's a right for due process of law. It is right to be judged by your peers. It's a right to have an attorney. You have those rights, but you don't have a right to tell the federal government, I'm going to prison, I want to be known as Chelsea Manning, and I want you to give me a sex change.
It's an elective surgery. I don't think any prison should be willing to grant someone an elective surgery.
Even though
if
it's the best for his psyche and for his,
Screw his psyche, I'm sorry. I mean, I feel sorry for him, and I understand that people have a sensitivity toward that, and there are people who truly believed that they were born
Absolutely.
in the wrong. But it's still an elective surgery. I mean, if he had a massive heart attack and needed to have, open heart surgery, that I can understand. If he needed to have his tonsils out because he kept getting tonsillitis, that I can understand. But a sex change is an elective surgery. And I don't know if...
well,
if
that would just
making-
be like women going into prison and saying, well, I'm there.
I want a breast reduction.
I want either
or
breast reduction
breast
or
augmentation.
augmentation. I want a facelift, or I want to do this, I want to
Right,
do
right.
that. And I agree. That is selective. That is something that you went in without. Why should you get it now?
I may have to go to prison just to get a facelift. Golly. No, I don't mean to belittle his position,
No,
and I
not at all.
understand psychologically where he's coming from.
Sure.
But I do resent the fact that federal taxes would be used to pay for something like that.
Exactly.
Maybe I don't understand all the ramifications.
That's what I'm saying. In the process that I seen in my lifetime, being a translator at the time years ago, I have seen that prisoners have a lot of rights, and they have a lot more than me as a regular citizen. That they get to have the right to study, when they in prison.
They get the right to study, but if they study anything more, it has to be paid for privately. The prisons do not pay for them to study. They'll pay for it up to the point where you get
Right.
your,
They'll help you
a
get-
GED.
yes, GED,
GED,
yeah.
and that is.
And that's
oh, yeah.
it.
But a lot of them are helping each other, because a lot of them have skills. So they're teaching other inmates and whatever,
Yes.
which I think is great. We
But
have
I
to
mean-
take a short little break, and we're going to come back and wrap it up for you.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. And now back to Just Between Us.
thank you for being with us today. If you want to reach us, we're at 223-4877, or you can fax us at 223-4866, or email us at bookme@tspntv.com. So there.
Great.
Take that.
Boy, you really know those numbers by now.
After 12 years or whatever it's been, I think
You
I
know-
Is
should-
that how long the show has been on?
Oh, yeah, it's been on a long.
About
It has
Oh,
to.
my
Yes,
goodness.
it's about. I think it's about 8.5
8
years
and a half,
now.
9 years?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's-
we're
Sue and
getting
Tom
a
would
little
know.
older. you
Yeah, that
know.
was their, this was, I think this was their baby, it was their vision, and people stop me all the time, and they just say, oh, I love
And
this show.
what's
and-
his name? The one that Hobson.
Greg,
Craig Hobson. Yeah.
Yes.
I saw him one day, and I said, Craig, how many years have we been? You know, we lose track of time.
right.
You know, because we just enjoy what we do, talking about all the freedoms that we have here. You know, we can say anything we want. A lot of people still ask me, do they tell you what to say?
No.
We
No.
have the freedom to say whatever
It's
we
like
want.
an old coffee clock
Yes,
that we used to
you
have
know.
when we were young, and you
Absolutely.
sit around the kitchen table.
It's
and
like, absolutely, that's exactly what it's like, and no.
And I thank everybody,
Tom and
you
Sue
know,
give
Tom
us
and
full
Sue
reign.
for letting
Yeah.
us
Yes.
do this,
Full reign.
the freedom
Absolutely.
to speak up.
And we have fun doing it. We got a great staff behind the cameras. We've got Alan, Austin, Sarah. You know, it's just great, and we have a lot of fun. And what you see in front of the camera when we're having fun, it carries off behind the camera.
I wish that they would record our breaks because
I'm glad that they
our
don't.
Yes,
breaks
I'm
are
glad
like
they don't.
more
Because-
interesting, you know. But
No, I think that they do
happy
the right
birthday
thing.
to my granddaughter Adriana. She turned 21 yesterday, and Jessie turned 21 on the 5th, and I turned something on the 13th.
There you go. My daughter's going to be 43. My baby's going to be 43 on Sunday.
Oh,
so happy
cool.
birthday. Austin, have a great day at school, and hang in there, and thanks for being with us.
Everybody, thank
Yes,
you
thanks,
for watching. We love you. We'll see you
We
next
do.
Friday.
We love
Adios.
you, Donna. I miss you, Donna.
Bye.
Besitos to my
Bes-
grandkids.
Besitos to everybody.
Yes.
Right? And baci. And baci in Italian.
Besitos. Adios.
Adios.
Are we still on? Yes, we are.